Just a few moments, we will begin, and in the meantime, if you need to use the restroom, there is the men's restroom is near the back, the women's restroom is up here, up front, and you can please stay in this area for the safety of our students. All right, let us begin. So thank you so much for coming today to share in our recognition for our Students of the Month for November and December for being kind. Students being recognized this afternoon stand out by being concerned for others, having a pleasant disposition, helping those around them whenever there is a need, and never hesitating to go out of their way to bring a smile on other people's faces. They are a wonderful example to others and are leaders in both in and out of the classroom setting. We are going to start with kindergarten. We will call the student's name. That student will come across to Officer Kovalik for the lanyard and also to our junior officer, Mr. Brown, for a lanyard, and to Mr. Hazelton to receive their certificate. They will come over here and give us a big smile, so this is your opportunity to get a picture. And then once all of the grades are completed, we will get a group photo for each. They'll exit the stage and they'll be seated, and we'll proceed on to the next grade. So without further ado, we will start with kindergarten. In Miss McGee's kindergarten class, we have Jamison Ludwig. Next in Mrs. Hoover's class, Aubrey Boffman. In Mrs. Collins' class, we have Kimberly Trajanovich. In Mrs. Rusnack's class, Hannah Sparks. Hannah is absent today. In Mrs. Moore's kindergarten, Eli Kester. Next in Mrs. Learish's kindergarten, Alexis Flanagan. In Mrs. Squire's kindergarten, Livy Adams. In Mrs. McClintock's kindergarten, Ellie Bumbarger. And in Mrs. Williams' class, Gannon Schubert. Those are our kindergarten students of the month. Let's give them a big round of applause, our kindergarten students of the month. Here, honey, come down here. Congratulations, kindergartners. Hey, now for our grade 1 students of the month. We'll start with Mrs. Williams, first grade. We have Aubrey English. In Mrs. Wright's class, Maggie Jackson. And Maggie is absent today. In Mr. Strauss's class, Booker Beckwith. In Mrs. Forsey's class, Avery Smith. Good job. Good job. In Mrs. Stripple's class, Rebecca Ann Powell. In Mrs. Matsko's class, Braxton Weaver. In Mr. Yascabage's class, Ella Hamilton. In Mrs. Sankey's class, Hagen Ward. Okay, you can go to Mrs. Spence right over here. Good job. In Mrs. Rosenbaum's class, Roxanne Dickey. And in Mrs. Stanko's class, Isabella Guy. Those are our first grade students of the month. Let's give them a big round of applause. Congratulations. Hey, now for our second grade students of the month. We'll start with Mrs. Witherite, second grade, with Wesley Bumbarger. In Mrs. Kitchen's class, Fanny Yoder. In Mrs. Terry's class, Grayson Graham. ahead to Mrs. Spence. Good job. In Mrs. Kavalik's class, Lily Kephart. In Mr. Corradini's class, Erin MacDonald. In Mrs. Shetler's class, Kiera Terrell. In Mrs. Trinidad's class, Canyon Gallagher. In Miss Stewart's class, Leland Kephart. In Mrs. Spence's class, Case Green. And in Mr. Buck's class, Emma Woodall. Those are our second grade students of the month. Let's give them a big round of applause. Congratulations. Hey, on to grade 3. The first of our third grade student of the month in Mrs. Mears' class, Grayson Cudrillo. In Mrs. Brady's class, Addison Warwick. In Mrs. Wallace's class, Dominic Cole. In Miss Love and Mr. Sproul's class, Charlotte Rothrock. In Mrs. Olson's class, Kendra English. In Mrs. Whited's class, Reagan Ockenbaugh. Job. In Mrs. Shower's class, Quinn Graham. In Mrs. Weaver's class, Zinnia Barnes. And in Mrs. Restino's class, Gavin Huber. Good job. Those are our third grade students of the month. Let's give them a big round of applause. Okay, on to our fourth grade students of the month. We'll be starting with Mrs. Clark's fourth grade, Madeline Eldridge. In Mrs. Billett's class, Madison Norris. In Mr. Graham's class, Noah Mackey. In Mrs. Wigfield's class, Toby Luzier. In Mrs. Ward's class, Bobby Bratton. In Ms. Thorpe's class, Lily Witherwright. In Miss Peacock's class, Gabriella Green. In Miss Gonsman's class, Aslyn Hazel. In Miss Scher's class, Mila Spade. In Ms. Staddle's class, Bella Cartwright. And in Miss Bartow's class, Jax Nelson. Those are our fourth grade students of the month. Let's give them a big round of applause. Congratulations. Congratulations. Students of the month. We're going to start with Mr. Bash's fifth grade with Gage Green. In Mr. Squire's class, Piper Beckwith. In Mrs. Black's class, Lynn Smith. In Mrs. Hurtland's class, Delson Garrett. In Mr. Hoover's class, Abigail Hooven. In Mrs. Adamson's class, Sadie Husted. In Mr. Funk's class, Leland Ziegler. In Mrs. McCracken's class, Isabella Miller. In Mr. And in Mrs. Schobert's class, those are our 5th grade students of the month. Let's give them a big round of applause. And to our very patient 6th graders. So of the month, we're going to begin with Ms. Norris's class with Joshua Johnson. In Miss Thorpe's class, Aiden Mann. In Mrs. Catherman's class, Grady Evans. In Mrs. Patrick's class, Elijah Hainsey. In Mrs. Maney's class, Lydia Muth. In Mrs. Peacock's class, Emily Weld. In Mrs. Pine's class, Riley Lauder. In Miss Lennon's class, Skylar Bumbarger. In Mrs. Ardry's class, Jonathan Miller. In Mrs. Paula Thorpe's class, Joseph. In Mr. Ryan's class, Sydney Smith. Sydney is absent today. And in Miss Shaw's class, Blaze Bumbarger. Congratulations, congratulations. We are certainly proud of you. On behalf of our awesome students at Clearfield Area Elementary, we would like to remind you that being kind is giving even when it seems making someone smile, if only for a moment. Kindness can be the greatest gift that you can give a person. We would also like to remind you that it only takes one kind word to change someone's entire day. That will be submitted to the progress. After that, you will be given a chance to take a picture of the group if you would like to do so. The students by grade level, starting with kindergarten. Students, please wait until your grade level is dismissed. Families, if your child brought a dismissal note to leave with you, please remain in the gym so they can easily find you. If you have any siblings leaving, they will be dismissed to come to the gym and meet you here. Once again, please remain in the gym so your child can easily find you. On behalf of Mr. Wiedeffer, who was unfortunately not able to be here tonight, but he does definitely send his well wishes to all of our students of the month, Mr. Hazelton, Officer Kovalik. We also have Mrs. Sayers, our Director of Intervention Services, here helping us today as well. So thank you on behalf of all of us here at Clearfield Area Elementary. We would love to congratulate our students of the month, and we also wish you the greatest of holidays and safe travels if you're traveling over the holiday season. This is going to conclude our assembly. Enjoy your weekend.